Hey guys, Brandon with the Galloway Precision here today. I want to do a real short video real quick on something I get a lot of questions about with both the LC9 and the Bodyguard series. We make short stroke kit for the Bodyguard, short stroke kit for the LC9. I get a lot of questions in my email. A lot of first time gun owners don't understand what I'm talking about when I say the 2 reset clicks when you go to adjust your triggers. Now, the LC9 is a semi-cocked double action only, and the Bodyguard is a double action only. The only difference being is that the LC9, as you can see, the hammer is semi-cocked. It stays in that position until you actually pull the trigger. So, difference with that on a just standard double action is, of course, as you can see with the Bodyguard, the hammer is dropped all the time until you pull the trigger, and as you pull, you're doing it. It's forcing the hammer to do 2 actions. First action is it cocks the hammer. Second action is it releases it and fires the round. So we're going to start with the LC9. This is your basic function test. This is what you're going to do after you've already installed the kit, adjusted the trigger, done everything you need to do. So you're going to start by rack and slide once, pull the trigger, the hammer should fall. Now you're going to hold the trigger just like this. You're going to rack the slide, letting it go. Now, here's where you're going to listen for your 2 clicks. You're going to slowly let out on the trigger. 1, and see this one? You can barely hear that second click. So I have my pre-travel over adjusted. So what we're gonna do there, if you run into that, don't throw it like I just did. You're gonna keep it racked back, that way you can actually actuate the trigger, and you're gonna turn your pre-travel, that's your top screw, a 1/4 of a turn clockwise. Alright, just 1/4 turn, that's all you gotta do. Release the slide. 2 clicks, 2 clean, crisp clicks. That's what we're looking for on the LC9 and the Bodyguard both, really. See if you can hear that. 2 clicks. So we're good here. Now the post-travel screw, the bottom screw, as you know, you'll adjust that out till the hammer doesn't fall. If you go to test and you get your 2 resets and then you pull the trigger and the hammer never falls, make sure that you take and adjust your post-travel screw counterclockwise, because you're going to be pulling the screw into the trigger until the hammer falls. Alright, so that's the LC9. Now the Bodyguard. Very similar in how it works. What you're going to do, obviously, slide go forward. Difference being, with this one, since it's a double action only, you know the hammer's going to fall. The only way the hammer's not going to fall is if you have the post-travel screw out. Now, you'll see in the video it's missing the extractor, and this is one of our in-house test guns that we test a lot of parts on, so it's missing parts. But the function test is going to be the same regardless. So, pull and hold the trigger, rack, release. Now notice I had to push forward on the trigger a little bit. If you've got to push it forward, then you don't have a full set. Now this one, you may hear 3 clicks. Something to do with some of these Bodyguards, their tolerances are just a little weird. And what that is the short stroke bar has ridden just a little bit further forward of the lifter. And it's a tolerance issue with the lifter itself, and it's hit or miss. It's not a bad thing. It doesn't mean you haven't put the kit in right. It doesn't mean that the kit's not going to work, that it doesn't work. The kit's functioning normally. What that is a tolerance issue with the lifter. It's usually because it's a couple thousandths of an inch too short, and it lets the bar go further forward than it should. Not a problem. It's going to kick back every time. So you'll hear 3. 1, 2, 3. Alright, now, here's a malfunction you may encounter. This is from the trigger pre-travel screw not being set correctly. It'll be an intermittent from time to time. What happens is you've got your pre-travel set too far forward. Now this one I've purposely not Loctited so that as I pull it, the vibrations will undo the screw. That's why it's very important to use blue Loctite or blue Vibratite. This is Loctite. We sell this in our trigger install kits. Our install kits are $10 plus shipping. They include a 50 thousandths Allen wrench, all the screws that we carry for the different triggers, and this small thing of blue Loctite. This is Vibratite. I use both. This is just what I happen to have handy. You can get this online as well or from Fastenal directly. But a tube of this or a small tube of Loctite, you're going to pay $5 or $6 for at Fastenal, Walmart, Harbor Freight, anywhere you go to buy thread locker. It's going to be expensive. Really saves you a lot of money and time with our install kits. All right, so we saw the malfunction. Sometimes it's not resetting, being because I didn't Loctite the screw in place. So we're going to take and see how easy that moves. We know there's no Loctite. So there's two ways you can do this. You can either completely break down the pistol. The other way is just take, put your little dab right there on the bottom of the screw. Oh no. This is the only thing that I dislike about Vibratite. I personally prefer it more. I use it in a lot of stuff, but you got to really make sure your cap's on there very good, because if it's not, it will seal itself up and you're going to have to cut a new bit. Alright, so we've got our trigger pulled to the rear. Take and put a little drop in there. Just kind of hold it for a second. Now, it doesn't seem like it because you're not going to be able to really see it with your naked eye, but some of that's going to get down in there. We're going to wipe our excess off and you'll actually see it. If you can't see it in the camera, obviously you'll see it with your bare eyes. It's down in the threads. So now we're going to adjust quarter turn clockwise and retest. Rear, rack, 1, 2. There you go. And that's it. So short little video, not super long, probably 10 minutes at this point because I talk too much. But that's how you function test the LC9 and the Bodyguard 380 after installing our kits. As always, if you guys got any questions, you can always feel free to email me at tech@gallowayprecision.com, and that should probably right about now be rolling across the bottom of your screen. Yeah, and that's it. If you guys got any questions, feel free to email me. Make sure to follow us on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter. I'm constantly posting new stuff up on there. As always, be safe, be accurate, and God bless.